Dad Life presents Toy Geeks Live Toy Talk Show. Tonight, we're going to talk about Hasbro essentially confirming, sorry, Joel, that the Ghost will be the next Star Wars Haslab. We're talking about all of that and more tonight on Toy Geeks. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toy Geeks. My name is Jay, and with me, as always, to you Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but actually during the day on Friday is my good friend John. John, how you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I guess it's a little bit of trickery because both John and I are unavailable this weekend. It's the 4th of July holiday weekend. And, I hope, people that are celebrating the 4th are, enjoying time with family and friends, and hopefully not blowing off any fingers. And so John and I will be doing similar type things. But we felt like there's so much toy news. We still have to check in on it. So John's very gracious enough to be doing this live from his toy shop again. And you can follow him on Instagram, Hero Source Toys Collectibles on Instagram. But someone could walk into the shop at any moment now, right, John?
That's right. That is right. You might see me get distracted.
That's all right. We will roll with it. So I do still love the idea of doing these live. So to still get that live feel, maybe on a smaller scale, posted this link live to our Patreon group. So this is actually live for our patrons. Another reason to become a patron. You never know what you might experience, which is a very intimate live pre-taping of Toy Geeks. We got Angry Elf here, Toy Connections, Migo, Hulk, Lucha, Johnny, Shiny Plastic People. We got Quip here. We got Kayla Silva. We got Brian Carr in the house. Geek the F out. And I'm sure more. Yeah, smack the like button, y'all, if you haven't done it yet. To-dite, Tone. Oh, man. All right, John. A lot of stuff coming down the line here. We got Comic-Con coming up in a couple weeks, and apparently everyone and their mother wants to do a crowd fund. But maybe the Mac Daddy, the big daddy of them all, is the Haslab crowd fund. And this week, Hasbro, seemingly wanting to break Ryan Dole's heart, put out a little teaser on the internets that, in my mind, pretty much, we were already kind of sensing it's probably going to be the Ghost, but at this point, pretty dead on, it's going to be the Ghost. So they tweeted out a tease. It's written in Aurebesh, the kind of standard Star Wars language, but when you translate it to English, laser cannon turrets ready, forward cannons ready, rear cannons ready, and I think the last one is Ewok Village unconfirmed. So John, I'm not shocked. In fact, we've talked about this before, back when it wasn't the Ewok Village at the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary stream. We both said, well, that was where you were going to do it. The fact this is going to be unveiled at Comic-Con right around the time Ahsoka's coming out, which Ahsoka's essentially just going to be Rebels, live action Rebels season 5. Mm-hmm. And the Ghost will be in it. It makes way too much sense for this to be the Ghost versus the Ewok Village playset, even though that will break a lot of our hearts. Not mine so much. I'm still excited for a Ghost. I'll talk about what I would want it to be in a second. But thoughts here with it seemingly at this point, all but for sure going to be Ghost.
Yeah, I think I didn't want to believe it. I wanted it to be an Ewok Village too, because I really don't have any connection to the Ghost or Rebels, or I never really got into it. I tried, but it didn't happen. So yeah, I'm disappointed in no Ewok Village, but that doesn't mean that it's never going to happen.
Yeah,
because eventually Haslab will run its course on this one, and then they got to come up with their next idea, and hopefully they think forward instead of another lightsaber that fails or something else. an Ewok village is still a great idea to do. So maybe that's still, you know, in the pipeline.
Yes.
But I think for now, having the ghost, like you said, it's, you know, with Ahsoka coming out, it plays into the current Star Wars offerings, you know.
Yep.
But I'm not really familiar with the ghost. How big would that be? Like what?
It's comparable. It's comparable in size to the Millennium Falcon.
Is it?
Yeah. So, you know, it would. I mean, it would be a big boy. Like it could, if they do it right, it should rival the BMF.
Mm-hmm.
Which somebody asked the other day, is like, I don't see it behind you. It's on the floor because the boys have been playing with it. So I can actually grab it real quick. But it's a big boy. I think, you know, there's parts of the Razor Crest that rival the BMF, but I think BMF still takes the cake, right, in terms of large ships.
Yeah, I think for everything that BMF was like a it was so important for Star Wars collections, and not only that, but like the big AT-AT, the big turbo tank, the big that other 6-legger walker. But like I think out of all the big things that have come out, the Falcon is definitely the most important so far.
Yeah, and so I mean it's big. It's really big. And I guess it is maybe slightly bigger than the Millennium Falcon in real life. So, well, real life, it's all made up. But but you know, this is big. This is a big ship. There's a reason it's called the BMF. You know, and honestly, I still think it's one of the greatest ships that has ever been made by Hasbro. And designed by the late great Mark. I'm blanking on his last name now, but he just passed away. But yeah, to me, it has to at least scale well with this ship if it's going to be a Haslab.
Yeah, I think they should go big and go bigger, because doesn't it have like a secondary scout ship that?
Oh yeah, it has a ship that pops out. Oh, you wait till I put it down, you son of a gun.
No,
keep talking.
No, not the.
The ghost does. The ghost does. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Is the ghost has like a secondary ship? Do you think that they would include that?
Oh, you have to. You have to, because it's. I don't know if you've watched all of Rebels yet, but it's like it's just as an important of a ship as the ghost itself. Like it goes on its own adventures. I believe they eventually add hypers. It can go light speed. So yeah, to me that has to be Phantom or Phantom 2. Yeah, you need to include the Phantom. It is so the fact that the Phantom can fit essentially the whole Rebels crew, just that little thing that attaches to the back in and of itself. So you need to have those. So go ahead.
So if they do it right, you're going to get 2 ships, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. And you would need to really, because again, the Phantom 2 is a very important part of the show, and there's the Phantom.
Oh, that's cool.
So it comes out of the back, the little wings pop down, and it's got, you know, a little cockpit there, but it has a little cargo area where I'm remembering episodes off the top of my head, but you know, there's, you know, I think at least the whole Rebels crew, if not you throw Rex in there as well. Like they put a lot of people in that little thing. So just to put in perspective, the scale of a Ghost Haslab should be really big. It needs to at least rival, if not be bigger than the BMF, which is saying something.
Yeah. So potentially outside of the barge, the largest Star Wars ship ever made.
Yeah. It should be. Like Like, let's see if we can get a comparison here. Falcon versus Ghost Star Wars. Like a scale picture between the two of them. Yeah, here we go. Size chart. Let me open that up real quick. Make it bigger.
It looks like, yeah, it looks a little bit
enhance.
A skosh longer.
A scotch enhance. Yeah, there you go. Millennium Falcon. But that's a good bit bigger. Like some spots it doesn't take as much space, but so the Phantom fits back here. So I mean, it needs to be bigger than the BMF in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One, because like the front of it, it's like a really big, front cockpit with like multiple levels. You have the living quarters. You have to be able to do the gun turret in the middle and then the Phantom in the back. Let's see. Don't forget, Phantom got exploded. Phantom 2 didn't have full down wings, slide up glass. But I think I would want the Phantom 1 then in that case.
Mm-hmm.
And Slade, I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking it's bigger. It has to be. Like, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be. It has to be.
Right. They can make their adjustments as they want. But
sure.
I think for fan service, it has to be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it has living quarters. I mean, it's almost like where, how like the Falcon, the BMF Falcon, it just, as in classic style, just has the removable panels on the top.
Yeah.
But like if you're getting into separate levels, you have like panels that come off the side to see separate. Yeah, just like the barge. Point. Just like the barge, how the side panels come off and you see separate levels that way.
Mm-hmm.
Where like the Ghost would almost need to be breaking down into different sections.
Sure.
To be able to get
does it need to split in half? Like you just take it and like split it in half?
Yeah, like a cutaway.
Yeah, like the Justice League play set. It's just like a folding is open it up.
Right. Right. It just has a hinge down the middle.
Yeah. Which game would be the ugliest thing ever? So please don't do that. But it's a really good point. It's like I'll be curious to see how they go about, showing us the inside of it, right?
Yeah.
Because the BMF, the panels, like the vintage one, kind of pop off the top. But at least it's more accurate where most of the living area is towards the front of the Falcon versus the original Kenner toy, which did it all in the back, which is where the most space was.
Yeah.
Geek Dev Out says, flip the Falcon around. They look more similar in size. I would say, the space of the chonky part of it.
Yeah.
For the Falcon. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. About that big. And then if we compare it, similar, but still it's slightly bigger,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like it will just have more interior space.
Yes. Yep. Which to me, I'm good with. Like, so if people are, this was just a tough one because I think more casual Star Wars fans would have liked the Ewok Village.
Yep.
And but I think for Rebels fans, I think this is really big because they haven't really done the 3 3/4-inch Rebels crew in total yet. I don't think we've gotten everybody in that crew. So to me, this could be a great kind of, all-in package that gives you the whole Ghost crew, the whole Rebels crew. I think they should throw in Rex and Ahsoka as well. And you can get the ship. And if you want to tier out some of those figures, fine. But to me, like the all-in potential for this should be the ship with the Phantom as well as the Rebels crew. And if you do that and you do it well, I still think this is a slam dunk Haslab, personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back to what you said, where there hasn't been like a full line of 3 3/4 figures for Rebels outside of like the 5 POA mission fleet or mission series, whatever they call that stuff, where it might be a good idea just to have like one flat buy-in without tiers, where it's you get the ship, the ghost, the phantom, the entire crew in 3 3/4 vintage collection style. You know, I can't imagine how big a flight stand for that thing would be if they were able to do that.
Oh God, yeah.
But just have a one all-in package rather than everybody worrying about tiers. Like, well, I don't want to get this if I can't get the entire crew in vintage collection style, like with this right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have one price once, it's set, no tiers.
Yep.
It's just, this is it.
Yep.
That's what I think they should do.
I agree. And, I'm not going to put it past them. Maybe they don't do that. Like Slave Delay says here, I don't think it'll include the whole crew, leaving some figures for the main line. But they're so slow with the main line. Like, it's been, when did Rebels go off the air? Like 4 years ago? And they still haven't even come close to giving us that in the vintage collection line. So to me, in this instance, because if they do anything else, they're going to do the live action versions of those characters for the main line. Just give me the animated style crew as part of this set, because they never did it in the main line, really. So, to me, the value of this set becomes like you get the Ghost and all the Rebels crew in one fell swoop in the vintage collection style. That to me makes this such an easy buy, right? Like, and I know price might be expensive. We'll talk about that in a second, but to me, it's a no-brainer at that point versus, okay, here's Ezra and Chopper and, Hera. But don't worry, we're going to hit the rest in the main line, TBD. That to me would be more frustrating, right? Because I just want it. I just want to have the whole crew. I want to have the ship and the whole crew, and I'm good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they really want to make it different, where if people are worried about not getting the figures, like, just release the figures in mainline eventually, but like just change the card backs or something, so there's a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good point. Like, there probably are the fans like, oh, well, these shouldn't be in a crowdfund, these should be mainline. I agree, but they haven't done it yet. They've had years to do it and they haven't done it for whatever reason. And maybe it's because vintage collection isn't as popular as Black Series or whatever, right? Which, fine, whatever the reason, I don't care. But they haven't done it in mainline, and they should have already. Yeah. So this to me is like a bit of a mea culpa. Like, okay, we know we didn't really give you a vintage collection, and we probably still won't, because we got to at least do these live action versions of all these Rebel characters. So here's our IOU. Rebels crew in the animated style as part of this Ghost set. And to me, that doesn't bother me as much, because I'm like, if I had the Rebels crew and I had an option for a Ghost, I'd want both. Yeah. Yep. Because like Kanan, it won't, probably won't get a live action version of Kanan, right? So it just, you need to do more than just a few. Not saying that'll be the case. We don't know till we know. But if I was king for a day, if I was King Hasbro, if I was, what's the CEO's name again? Chris Cox. Yeah. If I was Mr. Cox, I would make sure all of the other reindeer are included in this set. Yeah. Yep. But okay, John, last thought here. We only have a couple of weeks to wait, right? Because it's going to be unveiled at Comic-Con. What do you think the price is going to be? We'll add some context here. The last vehicle vintage collection was the Razor Crest. That was $350, right? $350? I think so. But in size comparison, this will be bigger. Yes, I think there's some elements to the Razor Crest that were longer. I think it was longer, right, than the BMF. Yeah, but considering just the amount of just wings, of wingspan,
without like inner workings and detail you have to do.
Yeah.
I am going to say with a crew.
Uh-huh.
With a full crew.
Full crew.
$650.
Oh, John, that would hurt so bad.
I think this one's going to be pricey.
Oh.
I really think this is going to be very expensive because the last BMF that was released, the Target exclusive Galaxy's Edge.
You're right. Yeah.
That was $400.
And that already had
existing tooling.
Yes. Yes.
So this is outside of that satellite dish on the newest BMF.
Which they had already done in the original BMF.
Yeah, they had already done it. $400. So now we have all new tooling, 100% new tooling. And then if it's all new tooling for a crew,
yeah,
I'm saying between $600 and $650.
Oh, that hurts so bad. Over 500. It gives me anxiety. Or to use an old Italian term, agita. Just thinking about dropping that kind of cash.
I think this is going to be very expensive.
If they do scale it appropriately, right? Say if it, to your point, scaled bigger than the BMF, which it should be, because the Millennium Falcon's only 1 deck, Ghost is 2 decks. Mm-hmm. Plus, if you include the whole Rebels crew, I was thinking at least 500, but 650. To your point, logically, oh God.
Unless they bring it down and make the threshold for success a higher number. If they say this needs to be at, rather than the standard 8,000, which seems to be the norm.
Yeah.
What if they raise this to like 10 or 12,000 for it to be funded, just and lower the price?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's a double-edged sword for Hasbro.
Sure.
They've already had 2 Star Wars Haslabs fail.
Yes, 2 in a row.
Do they say let's go raise the numbers to lower the price so maybe we get more customers?
Yep.
Or do we keep it high and lower the threshold just so it gets made? Because chances are the amount of people that will back this that can spend that kind of money will reach 8,000. I mean, you got to figure all the Star Wars fans in the world that probably do want this.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could do it at that price point. But, this is all just spitballing. I don't.
But you're not wrong.
I still think it's going to be very expensive.
That's a choice that has to be made, right? Like raising the MOQ and lowering the price versus lower MOQ but higher price. And if you're the Star Wars team, which has had 2 losses in a row, what's the safer play? And I think you make a good point. Like the diehards are going to spend the money, especially when you think the Razor Crest sells for $650 secondary market price.
The barge is over $1,000 now.
The barge is over $1,000. People pay that money. Now, again, those are one-off sales. That's not 8,000 all together in a week.
Right.
That's not the same, but there's some nerd maths in there, or nerd tax maths in there and what they're thinking.
But I think it's going to be very expensive. How much is the Dragonfly? $275.
$275.
And you got to figure that is
a bargain in modern.
It is a bargain. It's much smaller than what the Ghost will be. I mean, in length, because the BMF is 3 feet long, right?
I don't have a measuring tape with me, but it's long.
It's at least that. So
sure.
If you think about the size of the Dragonfly in comparison to what the Ghost was going to have to be, Hasbro owns GI Joe, so they're not paying any licensing.
Yep.
And paying the Star Wars tax.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I don't think you're wrong, John. I was thinking at least 500, but you're right. 650 wouldn't shock me. But if it is 650, like even that might be pushing it for me. And I'm kind of all in on this because, we got 275 for the Dragonfly. We have a Marvel Legends one lingering out in space. We have a Cats Lair lingering out in space. We're going to talk about that in a second.
Yep.
You have the Mattel Creations Jurassic Park gate, which seems dead on arrival. We can check on that in a second, but I don't think that's going to get funded. But yeah, there's a lot competing, and there may be more out there. Like I've heard rumblings. I've heard things. Have you heard about this? Like there may be more coming out there. Like and in that world of a competing dollar, I think they have to go higher MOQ, lower all-in price in this environment.
Yeah.
And because of that, because you have essentially the GI Joe one closing, who said it, a couple of days into Comic-Con. Yeah, here we go. Slave Delay, the Dragonfly is ending 2 days before Comic-Con. So, and that means that's when the money's getting pulled out of your account.
Yep.
Which I'm just realizing now I'm going to sell a lot of stuff before Comic-Con because I need some cash. So that's an impact there. You have the Cats Lair, which if I was guessing what Super 7 will be doing is they're going to want to show it at Comic-Con too. And if it's as big and glorious as it potentially could be, they're going to want to show that at Comic-Con. And the Marvel one, whenever we get to that one, plus any other crowd funds get thrown out there. To me, I think you need to lower the price, because if you go low MOQ, higher price tag, the competing dollars are going to snuff that one out.
Yeah. Yep. And every company is going to have to think that same way.
Yep.
Everybody, Super 7, every company that's throwing their hat in a crowdfunding ring right now, needs to adjust the MOQ to price ratio if they want it to succeed.
Yeah. 80s experience. Sadly, the Star Wars people are very wary, and the casual fan won't budge if the price is too high. To me, I think it is another perfect storm of crowdfunding. 100% agree, Charlie Weaver. Oh yeah, and you're right. Mondo Beastman and Panther pre-orders. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yep.
So and Skeletor's ending today, Sunday.
Today, Skeletor.
Oh well, then this will be airing after that, so it's too late anyway.
Oh yeah. So if you didn't do it a few days ago,
sorry, Charlie, not you, Weaver, but just Charlie's in general. Yeah, I think you need to go high MOQ. You need to do like 12,000 or something like that. And again, maybe that's where it's just like forget the tiers, throw in all those figures, and just try and get that price as low as possible with a higher MOQ. And then you just gotta get those orders in.
Yeah.
Like at the Razor Crest, and I'm looking at it now on the Haslab website. It got 28,000 backers. So to me, and if it's good, if the Ghost is good and you do it well, I think you can push up that MOQ to lower the price because the fan base is there. I mean, and this thing got blown up halfway through, or maybe it was just after it funded or while it was trying to fund.
It was right after it funded, it blew up.
Okay. Which is hilarious. But the Ghost at least has a full history in Rebels, no matter what happens in Ahsoka. It's got far more of a history than the Razor Crest. To me, I think the proof is out there. There's people out there that'll spend money at a higher level than 8,000 or whatever. So to me, I think it's push up that MOQ, lower the all-in price to ensure collectors don't have to choose, because in a world where there's going to be a lot of different crowd funds, you don't want to be the odd man out like the poor Rancor, which there was 3 at once, and it almost made it, but still it lost out to there's like 4. It was Proton Pack, Sky Striker.
Sky Striker.
I think that was it. Proton Pack, Sky Striker, and the Rancor.
Oh, but what was it? That Skull ship was running at the same time.
Yes.
What was that
called? I'm thinking. Oh wait, it's in my latest issue of Toy
Collector.
Yeah, they talk about it. Hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, that was running at the same time.
Yep. Skeledrone. No. Skeletron.
Skeletron, yeah. Robo Skull.
Issue 6 on stands now. in select Barnes and Nobles. If not, order Toy Collector. No 0 or O in the OR.com. No, Galactus was already done by that. Robo Skull, I guess. There you go. So yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. Comic-Con's when we'll get it officially announced. And that's that. But I will say, just a little bit of Comic-Con news there, have been invited to the Hasbro press junket breakfast thing at Comic-Con. So again, hit the subscribe, the bell, and all that fun stuff, people, because the Comic-Con coverage, we did a lot last year at the con. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch more this year. So stay tuned to the GDL channel, as well as the Toy Tubers Unite panel at Comic-Con. That's going to happen on Saturday at 2. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Let's talk about another potential crowdfund, John. This one, it's still blowing my mind, but, I don't want to blow up spots. But there's a lot of rumblings from friends that I have heard from that are like, oh, it's real.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Don't you? It's going to be a thing, and it's going to be amazing. And so, again, don't know till we know. Don't know till it's officially announced. But the folks at Super 7, if they're trying to wait till Comic-Con, I don't know how the hell they're going to make it to Comic-Con at this rate, because we've had 3 teases now in a week.
Yep.
And Friday's tease is the most teasy of all. I don't know if that's the right word to use here. But yeah, they have this. We don't know, but it seems like a full Cat's Lair, full frontal shot.
That's what she said.
Of the Cat's Lair here, and many people sent enlightened photos. I believe Brick Something did this one in our Discord. But if you lighten that up, you got yourself what looks to be a pretty darn good Cat's Lair. And I'm still kind of flabbergasted, John. I still can't believe this. What's your thoughts as the teases and rumors and rumblings continue to come in?
Oh boy, you think that Ghost is going to be expensive?
Whew.
Jesus, this is going to cost you your children.
Oh, God.
I mean, I can't even fathom the price of that this could be.
That's where my head is. I can't even imagine how much this is going to be. Right. You know, say it's as wide as Snake Mountain and twice as tall or something like that. I don't know. Nothing's official, but say that's in my mind. If they kind of scale it similarly to the Thunder Tank, the vintage Thunder Tank, that's about what it would be, give or take.
Yep.
At least over $1,000. This ain't Mattel or Hasbro we're talking about here.
Right. I mean, even when Super 7 did the Snake Mountain, that was, what was that, 700?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's been what, 5 years ago now. And 5 years ago, prices are much different than they are now.
Yeah. 100%.
So
the Turtle Wagon, which isn't that big, it's smaller than the Thunder Tank. They put that at like $450. It was like $500 all in for that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've said it before, and I think Brian Flynn has said it, like making a car is more expensive, like moving parts and stuff is more expensive than a playset could be. But still, But
yeah,
still,
I mean, playset is much more just shell than a lot of moving pieces. But when you get into massive tooling on this thing, I mean, the thing that could make this work is if Super 7 set up their own payment plans, similar to like Sideshow.
Sure.
And if they say this is going to be, I mean, I'm going to go high and say like $1,400.
To me, I think that's low. I'm thinking like $2,000, but yeah, 14. Let's say just throw $1,400. Sure.
Yeah, and they say it'll go into production in a year and a half. But in that year and a half, we can debit your account or whatever, $80 a month to make it a little bit more tolerable, to make it possible to even happen.
Yep.
But if they say it's $1,400, it's a even a 3-month long campaign.
Sure.
Is too short.
Yeah.
If they want this to happen, this is going to have to be a very long crowdfund campaign, just so people can save up for this.
Yeah. It can't. Yeah, that's where it's tough, because I know they'll want to have a certain. If I was them, they'd probably want it to be shorter because they want to get production going on it.
Yep.
But to your point, like, if you're over $1,000. And I'm not saying some people couldn't swing that kind of cash or that kind of debt, but I don't know. I think there's a finite amount of resources for us toy collectors, and space danger being another part of this, right? Because this is big. This is really big. I mean, this could be a similar footprint to the Eternia, which has one of, if not the largest footprints, by square footage on the ground and in the air of any place that ever. And we're getting one that's slightly bigger than that from Mattel already. And this,
this is so ambitious. The Eternia playset was ambitious.
Yes.
But I think this for a smaller company, obviously a much way less, I don't want to say successful, but like numbers of production figures, like the Ultimates Thundercats are produced in much less numbers in Origins.
Absolutely.
I think that this is it's honestly, it's incredible that's even possibly happening.
Sure.
Because this leaves other potential for other things. Like we always say, like, oh, maybe there could be a flag one day.
Yeah.
Not classified scale, but maybe a new O-ring scale. But with this amount of plastic getting thrown around, absolutely a flag could happen.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, to me, the Eternia proved that, right? Like, and maybe that's what Super 7's looking at. Well, they did an Eternia, and that's big as hell. But that was $500, and it had a pretty low MOQ at 5,000. Low MOQ, and I know people kind of scoffed at the price, $500, maybe $600 all in or something like that. But that's cheap, because it's an and I was talking to a friend of the channel, past and future guest Ted Biaselli. Like he said, it was mentioned in the live stream, and wasn't really marketed that much. It can fit your Massiverse figures too.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's an Eternia that not only works with the Origins line, but can work with your Massiverse line too. And in a world where Massiverse is kicking butt and doing a really good job, that's incredible. Like, if you think about it. And yeah, exactly. And so that's at $500. And Brian Carr, you're right. Super 7 pricing is going to be much larger than Mattel pricing. But that being said, the gate seems very pricey for a door. I know that's simplifying it, but still $250 for a door. But yeah, I think two guys talking toys, I totally feel you here. This is 6-inch scale, and it's 7-inch scale, because those Thundercats Ultimates is 7-inch scale. It is going to be this, if not bigger than a coffee table. And I gotta be completely honest, John, like if it's legit and it's that big, I don't know how I don't want to try and make it happen, because to me, it's toy history at that point. It is toy history.
Yeah. If you look at this thing in that door and think about a 7-inch scale figure.
Yeah.
This thing is going to be like the size of a washing machine.
Oh yeah, easy. And Tony Taponi, you're 100% right. If successful, this gives me hope. Maybe Super 7 would attempt a Technodrome, sure. Or if I'm Neca and I see this kind of thing get successful, like who's to say someone at Neca was like, well, damn, we might as well try and do a Technodrome.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, why not? Let's get in on the action. And I'll tell you what, John, like I'm not, I don't collect Neca Toon Turtles. And really, any Neca Turtles, it's just too expensive. But if they did Technodrome, a big Technodrome, damn, I don't see how I say no. Even though I think I would prefer it if, and it may be sacrilegious to say, but I would prefer it if Super 7 did it, just as I would want that look. But Super 7 didn't really nail the party wagon look for me. But I don't know if I'd want it to be very toony the way the Neca would probably do it.
Right. Yeah, with like the almost cell shading look.
I know some people would love it. I'm not saying that it wouldn't do well. I'm sure it would do well. But just me personally, I would prefer it to be like a upscaled version of the toy, which, you know, maybe I'm a smaller subset of turtle fans that would want that.
I don't know. It's turning out to be a very expensive Comic-Con.
That's what I need to go through my stuff this week, John, and I need to start selling. So if you're on the Discord, I'm going to be dropping some stuff because I'm looking around and I need to get some cash together because I can't afford Comic-Con summer right now.
You keep saying how you need a new desk. You might make this Cats Lair a desk.
Well, we were saying if they turn this into a display shelf, then damn, that's like 2 birds, 1 stone. I know they're doing a diorama, but like again, if I'm Neca and I see if this Cats Lair is successful, if I'm Neca, I'm just like, damn, why don't we just do the whole damn thing?
Yeah.
Why not?
Especially if they go the route of the way that Mattel did the Classics Castle Grayskull. When we first seen that, it was just a cardboard mock-up. Yeah, and they started collecting our money.
Yep.
So if they did that, where they just said, well, this is what it's going to look like if you're interested, and then, you know, start to get the funds in faster before you have the prototype done. And then by the time, you know, you're halfway into the campaign, and then you can show some sort of mock-up, like you've already gotten like your foot in the door. Yeah. And rather than like something like this, where this, you know, I can't tell if this is this looks like it could be a toy. It looks like it could be a render. It's this picture is really hard to tell if this is actually a sample. Well, and again, like this is just somebody, I think Brick Something did this, but a lot of people have done it, but basically lightening up the image that Super 7 dropped on their Instagram, right? So this is what Super 7 sent, and then people lighten it up. But to your point, like I wouldn't put much stock in this being a close to final look of the, but if it's even close to this, I want it. I mean, if I got a Thunder Tank, I've got all the figures. Matt Bush very kindly sent us the Toon versions. Or I'm sorry, the toy versions. I forgot about that. Like I want this. Don't have room for it. I have no idea how I'd figure that out, but I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out. But to your point, like if it's $1,400 too, that some decisions have to be made in the Jay Glatfelter toy room. Might be time to say goodbye to some things in here. Like the wall behind you. Yeah. Oh God. And you know what? You're right. 2 guys like Neca, sure, castle for the gargoyles. That'd be great. Yeah. But I mean, just to fit the wings of those gargoyles on that castle, the castle would have to be like a full-size castle. Well, that's how they'll get you. The castle will include all the folded wings for everybody.
Damn, that's a good point. Oh my god! All right, John, we got more things to connect to. Again, busy kind of toy update week this week. Hasbro closed out their YoJoe June with a lot of round tables, and we got confirmation that we will not be getting Airborne as the last tier. So sorry for those that want Airborne.
I'm sure he'll be mainline.
I think they said he'll be mainline. Yep. So that's fine. You're going to get it Airborne. Should be mainline anyway, right? So.
Yep.
Not a big deal there. But let's check in on the Brian Brinks charts. As of Friday, we're at 1,400, 310. We are currently trending below Glenda, which to me is a concern only because this thing can kind of putter along as long as you want, right? You still have a bit of time, but you're going to want to at least get to Glenda to see the 19K stretch goal, right?
Yep.
Even if it's just a day or two, you're going to want to at least get there. And if it's pacing to maybe just skate by it, and again, there's the last day bump, which if you look at the His Tank, it started picking up with, at least 4 or 5 days left. So even if it follows a similar trajectory where there's that, it starts to bump up towards the end, I think we definitely still hit Glenda, and we definitely can still see that 19K stretch goal with enough time for people that are still on the fence to make a decision to back or not. I've already backed, so I'm in no matter what. But if I'm the Haslab, the Joe team, that's what I would want to see, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Show Glenda some love. Love Glenda. Love me some Glenda. So that is that. And then also, speaking of the His Tank in the those round tables, we're gonna have a Classified Series 788 Fire Team Troop Builder 3-pack. And I did I see some griping about this, but I think this is a great thing. I don't know, like throwing additional packs to kind of bolster up, this really cool Haslab that's coming out.
Yeah. I mean, I think any opportunity for army builders is good. I mean, I don't know anybody's going to complain about it.
Yeah. So I think it's a good thing. KMD Baby says they're going to need to show at the last tier at least 48 hours before the end, so people on the fence can jump in. And I think it will, because there's a historical thing of like it picks up towards the end, the last few days. So I still think it hits it with enough time to see what that last tier is for the fence sitters.
Yeah, and that's me too.
Yeah, that's right. You're sitting on the fence too.
Yeah, I haven't ordered it yet. I'm going to, but I do want to see what that last tier is going to be, and it's still not going to make a difference. I'm going to order it, and I did the same thing with the Sky Striker. I just did it the last day.
Yeah.
I want to be part of that jump.
Yeah, you want the spike.
Yeah,
I'm way back here in day one, wherever that is. But Kenton, Studio Henge, they mentioned painted in red and black in the His Tank, so I would love a Cobra Trooper, Viper, and Bat with his colors. That'd be amazing. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. John, we've got our first turtle, at least from Playmates, Comic-Con exclusive. And they've done this before with previous waves, basically taking the standard retail release of a figure and then adding some more paint apps and giving it a nice box. It looks like Playmates will be doing that as a Comic-Con exclusive. I've done my video review of a whole bunch of the first wave of figures and vehicles for the Playmates Mutant Mayhem toys, and I am in love. So many of my collector friends, like so many people, are just having so much fun with these Mutant Mayhem releases, and it's just been so much fun to see, especially when these figures are $10, $9.99 at retail, and it's so reasonably priced. Fun for kids, I think fun for collectors as well. So I think it's really cool. Love the packaging on these with the street art, but I've seen some people do really cool line work with the existing figures, like taking our Gundam markers and making these things look really good. I'm not a fan of these though. These look like they're dirty.
Yeah. These do look a little just worse for wear. And I get it. Sometimes when it's on a mass produced line to do the line work and the detail washing, it doesn't come out as nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just look dirty. Like,
yeah,
they got, these are played with.
I mean, the box looks nice. I mean, that's is that velvet in there? It looks really nice, and maybe they look better in person, but just these first pictures, they just don't. They just look dirty. It looks like you just took a wash and just kind of like, there you go. Move on.
Yeah.
I think it's $65 for the set. And if memory serves me correct, with Playmates Comic-Con exclusives, they'll be available at the Nickelodeon booth at Comic-Con. So, because Playmates doesn't set up, but who knows? Maybe they will this year. But in the past, they haven't. If they've had exclusives, at least for Turtles, they've been at the Nickelodeon booth, which is, I don't know. It's what it is. I've gotten exclusives there before, like back with the 2012 line. They had this really sick shredder that had like chrome parts and stuff like that. It was essentially the same as the regular release, but it had a removable helmet and it was all chrome. It's a really cool figure. And yeah, that was at the Nickelodeon booth. So that's what I think will happen there. But yeah, getting excited. More and more Comic-Con reveals, John. This next one was revealed at Comic-Con last year, but we're just now able to pre-order them, and that is the dinosaur figures from Neca. And John, I'm all in on these personally. I think they look absolutely fantastic. $39.99, which is spendy, but that's kind of NECA's range, and these are bigger figures. Thoughts on finally being able to see what these sets will include and being able to pre-order the dinosaurs from NECA.
I completely forgot about these when they were shown this week. I kind of remembered Baby Sinclair seeing it last year, but I thought Earl was new.
No, he was there too. It was Earl and Baby. They were both there.
I completely forgot about that. I mean, they look good. I'm not in on these. I'm kind of being picky about what I'm getting now, just because there's way too much coming out.
Yep.
But I mean, they look awesome. Earl looks really good, and I forgot how much I did watch the show when I was a kid, because me and Susan were talking about it last night. And I completely forgot how much I must have seen the entire series.
Oh yeah. But
yeah, these look really good, but not for my shelves. I don't have space anymore.
For me, love this show. Watched it. It was a TGIF show, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I loved it. And it's one of those. It has one of like darker endings for a TV series, where basically they cause their own climate change and they cause the ice age, and it ends with them like being cold and looking at their impending doom. But it was just such a good show, and the Jim Henson puppets and everything. They just look so freaking cool. And I've always been a huge fan. I've had the Hasbro toys forever, since they've come out. This is one where I'm kind of the same boat as you, John. I am trying to scale back like what I'm buying. I'm trying not to buy just to buy. I know I sound like a fool when I just said like, oh, if they do a Cats Lair, I think I have to get it. But I'm really trying to limit it. But to me, I love dinosaurs so much that I definitely want to get these ones. But yeah, do we need a TGIF verse stable of NECA releases?
Yeah, just an entire TGIF shelf.
Yeah. Come on, give me Family Matters. I'll be in.
Oh, you can get Family Matters Funko Pops now.
No, don't do that, John. Don't stop it. I don't want to go down that path. Oh my God. And then I definitely want to talk about all of the reveals from the Indiana Jones fan stream. One, I love that they did an interview with Karen Allen and John Rhys Davies, who are Marion Ravenwood and Sala, respectively. That was a lot of fun. But we got some Last Crusade figures and a new build and artifact. And John, you mentioned this last time I was in your shop. You're saying that you can't keep the 6-inch scale figures in stock. Is that right?
I'm completely out again.
Wow.
Again. So, I had one tot, whatever.
Yeah.
Left yesterday. He was gone by noontime. That was all I had left.
Wow.
So I ordered cases of all this wave yesterday. But yeah, I cannot keep the 6-inch indie figures in whatsoever.
That's crazy.
And I don't know if it's just because of the area where, you know, the only store within almost an hour drive is Walmart. So obviously they're not going to have any.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's almost an hour to get to a Target.
Sure.
So I don't know if it's just because of the area.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm very surprised that I have none left.
And to be honest, I thought this was going to be kind of an outside of indie peg warmer.
Yeah.
And really the only thing that's at my targets are just the exclusives, the Club Obi-Wan and the one Knights Templar dude. I think are the ones that I see. The regular release I have not seen. It's Comics very kindly found a set. He was like, "Hey, do you want me to buy this for you?" And I was like, "Nah, it's okay. I'll just see if I can find it locally." May have made a mistake there. A lot of people agree with me on this one. This is my favorite look of indie. Is this Thai Last Crusade look? This figure looks great.
Yeah, this one is my favorite look for indie as well. This is his most like professor.
Yes.
On a
yes.
On a crusade look.
Yes. It's so great. It's so great. And we were well, I'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about Elsa Schneider. She looks good. Doesn't look, it's not 100%, but still cool we're getting her. And I love she comes with the false grail.
Yep. I think it's the the typical Hasbro can't really nail the female face sculpt look. The Princess Leia problem.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100% agree. And then we were worried like maybe we saved it last year, but Grail Knight, we're getting the Grail Knight. Love how he looks. He looks awesome.
Yep.
And we can all at home go, he chose poorly. Like I'm pumped for this one.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. I can't wait for these figures.
So good. And then we're getting a Dr. Henry Jones Sr. and he looks great. I'm excited for this one. Just the fact that we're getting him and the Last Crusade indie. We need the German motorcycle with the sidecar. Like that needs to happen, right? Like I just want to have them together in that bike, right?
Yeah. And now I'm hoping that is going to be an exclusive.
Yes.
Because previously we had talked about the Grail table being a Comic-Con exclusive set.
Yes.
But now that's here, it's happening. Maybe we'll get the sidecar set. That would be so good. That'd
be a must buy. That would be maybe the thing I would want the most at Comic-Con, just because like Henry Jones has to be able to like sit down like with his bag and the umbrella.
Yeah, with the bag, on his lap.
Yes. Oh my God, I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy if that became a thing. Yeah, exactly. You have purchased wisely. I very rarely say that to myself after a purchase, I will say. And then we've got some new characters from Dial of Destiny, which is out right now. I got to see it this week, and I haven't seen it yet. I've heard good things. I've actually heard good things about the movie. So I'm excited about that. But we got Dr. Jürgen Fala. So that's cool. Mads Mikkelsen. How many times has Mads been a figure now? Because he's had the Black Series figure. He's had this one.
Mm-hmm.
Has he been anything else? Has he? Because he was a Marvel bad guy, right? Did he have one of him when he was a Marvel baddie?
Who was it? Who was he?
He was like the he turned against the wizards of the whatever.
I can't remember who he was.
He brought whatever that guy Normando, whatever it is.
Yeah, from Doctor Strange.
Yes, Doctor Strange.
I don't think he got a figure in that series.
Oh, bummer. But anyway, I'm curious to see, like, if we need to, like, a Mads. That's his name, right? Is that the Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah. He was Doctor Strange villain as well.
Hey,
yeah, exactly.
Good. How are you?
Good. Oh, we got a customer.
Good.
But yeah, this guy looks cool. We need a Mads count though. How many Madses have we gotten? And then we've got Ronaldo.
Oh, Daddy.
Oh, we got kids in the place too. That's great. I love it. But we got a Ronaldo figure, Antonio Banderas. He looks pretty good.
Yeah, he does look good.
But I'll tell you what, John. There's one figure that doesn't look good. Or maybe there is a limit to what I would want to buy. Because I was all in on buying the Old Man Keaton bats. I'll tell you what I'm not all in on buying. Is this Hot Toys Old Man Indiana Jones.
No. They can do a good old Harrison Ford, but they can't do a good young one.
No. And I'm excited for this movie. I have no problem with it being older in the movie, but I don't know why. Just this Hot Toy is too old. It's just like, I don't know. This just makes me sad.
Yeah, this doesn't need to happen. It is sad.
But again, they nailed it. Like, they didn't do a great job with their Raiders Harrison Ford. It didn't look that good. But they nailed his old man look. I just don't want an old man Indy. But anyway, all right. That's it, John. Do you need to ring somebody up? Do I need to stall or vamp for a second?
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay. All right. So that will wrap up this edition. Oh, wait, wrong button. There we go. Of Toy Geeks. Thank you, John, for hanging out and working the shop while doing this stream. We hope everybody has a great 4th of July holiday for those in the States. I know hopefully John and I will as well. And stay tuned to the channel. I assume our next one, John, next Sunday is going to talk about hopefully a bunch of the Comic-Con exclusives that we'll have to dig into. And we'll stay tuned to the channel during the week as well. Like if the Cats Lair gets dropped or something, we're going to be talking about it. So hit the subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss it. And again, thanks to our patrons that hung out with us live as we did this stream. And until next time, hasta luego and goodbye. Take care, everybody.